Hey everyone, and welcome back. Now today we're going to be talking about Solana because Solana's been seeing all-time highs in kind of a whole bunch of everything lately. So I want to talk a little bit about that, what this could mean. Is this kind of like a flash in the pan? Is this indicative of a larger move within Solana? What should we be expecting from Solana in 2025? All that different type of stuff, price predictions, everything. So anyway, let's go ahead, dive right in. We're going to start taking a look at crypto bubbles just so we can get a general sense on the market. We can see Solana down 3.4% on the day, down a little bit worse earlier on in the day. But when we look at the chart here in a couple of minutes, I think you'll see why maybe it doesn't really matter too much. We can see also, Radium up pretty decently, Fartcoin and Trump down though fairly aggressively, but we've seen a ton of volume coming on Solana over the past probably 48 hours or so, primarily due to the Trump and Melania coins. So we will be talking a little bit about that. Moving on though, I did want to take a look at the Solana Analytics because we have seen that Solana has been holding about 4,400 transactions per second, peaking here on December 23rd at 4,800 transactions per second, even recently holding kind of around 4,500 to 4,600 transactions per second. So we definitely can see a pretty clear uptrend in transactions per second overall. This is very good. I mean, this essentially means that Solana is doing what it said it was going to do, which is increase their transactions per second. I mean, we can see over the past 8 or 9 months, we've gone from about 1,900 transactions per second to about 4,400. So, really, really good move there. We also can see the success rate is going up. This is a little bit interesting because I did hear with some of the Trump and Melania coin madness going on, we did see that it seemed like some transactions were getting choked up for a little bit. So I'm not sure if this is because of, it seems like this is probably just throughput more than anything else, just because we can see that the transaction success rate actually went up. And so if that is the case, then what that would mean is, one, either this board is wrong, or it was a case of like throughput. There was, they were doing 4,400 transactions per second, but there were maybe 5 or 6 or 7,000 transactions per second that were needing to get through. And so there was a little bit of a hold up there. So that could be a possibility. What we can see otherwise is pretty decent trends up all over the place. We can see the fees going absolutely nuts over the past couple of days. We're going to look a little bit further into this on Defi Lama. We're going to get to that here in a couple of minutes. I just think they kind of showed a little bit better. So we'll be able to take a look there. But overall, I mean, things kind of looking pretty good. Obviously, active wallets going up again over the past couple of days. Things looking good there. New accounts also going up. So basically just a bunch of tokens and a bunch of transactions and a bunch of volume, a whole bunch of stuff kind of going on within the Solana ecosystem. If we do look at the Solana coin, we can see a ton of price movement going on recently. We actually probably could even add a new level of resistance up here just because we have seen a new all-time high. I'll keep all the same colors here. We can see a new all-time high. This is looking at the daily, so obviously we can see a really, really nice move to the upside. I did actually take a trade. I think I got in about the 176-ish range, basically when we dropped out of this liquidity zone. We also did, if I turn on the Bollinger Band, so you can see we also did pull out of the Bollinger Band. If you want to go to my most previous, I think it's my most recent previous Solana video, you can see that we talked a little bit about when this was happening. Actually, I think it already started to pull a little bit back up, but I had kind of said like this doesn't usually happen, right? And so when we start to see something like this happen, I take this as a buy. Again, this is not financial advice. You need to make your own decisions. Actually, let's pull this up so it's a little bit bigger. But when this type of thing happens, I usually am looking to enter into a trade because this means it's overextended to the downside. So obviously we did see it pull up a little bit. We saw it start to move pretty nicely, very, very nicely. And then we see things on the opposite end, things get way overblown. We see Solana almost hit $300 a coin, which is wild. But again, same thing here. We can see that prices come way outside the Bollinger Bands. And so then we were expecting a move to the downside. Unfortunately, I did miss the top here at the 295, but I think I ended up closing somewhere, I think it was about 275, something like that, as we started to kind of come back down on the downside. But again, we saw this coming out of the Bollinger Bands, a fairly simple trade here. And then I do also think I took some profit here at 240, because we were running into this level of liquidity and resistance that we'd seen previously. Again, in the market, you never know what's going to happen. So as we started to run into this resistance, I did pull about half my trade here, and then obviously, the other bit up at this point. And we can see actually, if we look, I did actually pull a 733% average gain on here. So you can see my average close price was 240. I did, like I said, I think I closed about like the 265-ish range, somewhere up here, which means I actually might have taken some around that 220 range just because this was the most recent top. I was thinking there could have been the possibility that maybe we kind of hit this and come back down a little bit. But again, you know, the average gain here, 733%. So not too bad. I think I pulled my first half out around a 400% gain, and my second half was right around 1,000% gain. So not too bad overall, right? Obviously, we are starting to see things come down a little bit to the downside. I am kind of monitoring this and kind of seeing what's going to go on here. If we look at the hourly, I will actually just show you guys something I am taking a quick look at. Is we've got a little bit of a wedge-ish. Actually, no, sorry, it's got to be this way. We've got a little bit of a wedge-ish type of situation forming here. We can see kind of down at this like little bottom area, we're kind of running into some support here. Again, potentially we have seen that wick up, so it's looking like some support. We don't know for certain. And then we do have this kind of secondary kind of angle here. Even if we kind of pull that, obviously we lose these wicks, but we get a little bit closer to kind of what this could be looking like. We could even kind of pull it and show something like this. We do kind of lose some of the candles out here, but this could potentially be a wedge that we are seeing. If we do see something like this, I would expect a bounce off of this lower end, potentially running into this wedge, breaking out, and then seeing another move to the upside. Always a possibility. Or, you know, maybe we could kind of follow this descending trend line and go back down, maybe even hit into this like liquidity zone between like the $211 to like $228 range. Really hard to say for sure. Obviously, we've seen some massive moves coming out of Solana, kind of in every which way lately. Again, you know, we saw a pretty strong pullback down to this like 230 range, and then another really strong move up to about 269, topping out at over 270. So again, you know, really, really volatile coming out of Solana here. But overall, I mean, you know, Solana's looking pretty good. And if you are interested in trading Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, I mean, we've seen all-time highs out of Bitcoin as well. You can use my link in the description to BTCC. They do have that 10% bonus on first-time deposits, which is a really, really good deal. It's basically free money. So if you are looking for free money, you can use my link and sign up for BTCC. They also do have the extra bonuses of up to $10,055 per user. We've got a whole bunch of different benefits here. You can see been around 13 years, 300 plus crypto futures, a ton of flexible leverage options. 500x is kind of way too high for me. I don't ever go above really realistically like 100x, but 90% of the time I really don't even go outside of like 10 to 20x. So again, if you do use leverage, just be very, very careful. And if you don't use leverage, BTCC does do spot trading as well. So not a huge deal there if you aren't looking to do leverage. And then also no VPN or KYC necessary if that is something you're interested in. So like I said, if you are interested, just feel free to go on ahead and click the link in the description to go on ahead and get signed up. Now moving on, I want to take a quick look at DeFi Llama because we've seen a lot of crazy stuff happening to Solana over even just the past couple of days. And so what we can see is the TVL is just shy of $11 billion now. We can see if we look, they are the second largest chain in terms of TVL, only behind Ethereum, which is pretty impressive. I think this is maybe a little bit of a long time coming, but Solana has finally actually gotten there. If we zoom in a little bit, we can see actually recent tops over 12 billion actually. So things looking pretty good there. If we go back to all time, we can see that the tops of last cycle, I think we just barely didn't crack 10 billion. So we have officially hit new all-time highs in price. We've hit new all-time highs in TVL. We'll continue looking. We can see all-time highs in volume. This is again due to the Trump coin madness. Like, I mean, look at the spike in this volume. Absolutely bonkers revenue or volume coming in here. And associated, of course, fees going crazy as well. We've seen some massive spikes in fees. Even recently in 2024, we've seen a really, really nice trend on Solana's fees. Again, obviously, you know, this is just a ridiculous new high over here. If we look at revenue, it's going to be, you know, very similar. Tons of crazy stuff going on here. The other thing I did want to take a look at as well is stablecoins, just because, as I've always mentioned, stablecoins are kind of an indirect way to look at who's doing stuff on that network, right? Because if there's stuff to do on the network, you would imagine that people are going to want to be having their stablecoins there. And so what we can see, recent highs of just shy of $10 billion. We can see 9.892 billion in stablecoins, again dwarfing what we've seen even just in 2022, which is kind of the most recent recorded high in stablecoins at 6.2 billion. So we're seeing a ton of really, really like crazy volume and like value and assets and all this type of stuff running into the Solana ecosystem. A ton of really interesting stuff going on here. We also have seen kind of like, you know, Jupuary and, you know, all these different kind of stuff going on with Solana. So I think the fact that we saw Solana run up and actually reach this almost $300 point. It sounds about right? And then as we've talked about with price predictions, I think we could see a cycle top of Solana hitting $4, maybe even $6, maybe even $800 if things get really, really crazy. This type of move, along with this type of data and some of the like things that we're seeing here, this all to me indicates, look at this, just, up and to the right, really crazy moves on a lot of different metrics for Solana. This all to me indicates that we are looking really, really good for Solana to continue its move to the upside, see some really potentially promising returns out of Solana, as well as, potentially some Solana ecosystem coins. Obviously, Trump made his meme coin on Solana, Melania made her meme coin on Solana. Potentially, there are other people of the Trump family of, the potential administration that are making their coins on Solana. Again, I've talked about this before of how I don't really like or appreciate the optics of that at all, but again, nothing I can really do about it. We could just kind of deal with kind of the hand that we're played. And so overall, I think there's a lot of really, really interesting opportunities potentially coming on Solana in 2025. So I would say, if you're a little skeptical of Solana, that I don't know that really matters if you're looking to make money. I think you need to be where the volume is and where the volatility is and where the potential price action is. Right now, I think there's a lot of eyes on Solana. Given that Solana is an American-based cryptocurrency, that is another thing that people are talking about it in terms of like maybe it gets added to the U.S. Strategic Reserve because it is an American cryptocurrency. Who knows? That there's a lot of like rumors and speculation around that. So, I'm not going to comment too much on that, at least for right now. But at least so far, we're seeing a ton out of Solana. Even earlier on in the cycle, we saw Sui doing a lot. I've told you guys several times that I'm almost certain that Sui is going to get crushed when we do end up seeing a bear market. But that doesn't mean there isn't money to be made on Sui, right? I just actually took a leverage trade on Sui earlier today. Didn't make anything super crazy. I think it was only like 20 or 30%, but still money is there to be made, right? If there's money there to be made, I don't really care where it is. So overall, those are kind of my thoughts on what we're seeing in the crypto market, as well as Solana right now. Solana is looking fantastic. And so, I'd love to hear your guys' comments in the comment section below, hearing your guys' thoughts about Solana. Do you think that this is going to continue? Do you think we're going to see a $400 Solana, $600, $800, $1,000 Solana? I'd love to hear maybe what your guys' price predictions are for Solana, what your guys' sentiment is surrounding Solana, a lot of that type of stuff. Also, if you did find the information in this video useful, please do give me a like and a subscribe because it really, really does help me out. Continue to grow my channel and reach more viewers in the YouTube algorithm, all of that good stuff. So, that really, really does help me out. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.